Okay, cool. Hey, good morning, guys. This is Shiv. So let me introduce myself. Already Nitish has given some sort of detail. Let me go in the detail what I have done or what I am working on it. So I have 9+ of years total. I have 9 years, 9+ years of experience in the development field, and since 4.5 years I'm working in RPA, AI, machine learning, and chatbot. Along with this, I do have all the certification related with the UI part, Blue Prism, AWS, and SAFe. Along with this, I do conduct training, which is online and offline. Offline is something corporate training also. So as of now, I have done 40+ corporate training sessions on the Blue Prism, UI part, Python, and all these things. We have done the 15+ webinars, and along with this all the training, I have uh, trained more than 500 professionals, not only in India but across the overseas, where I have given the presentation for Maybank, Malaysia, Singapore, for Tech Mahindra. So this is my profile in short. um, yeah, I want to go from each one of you. So can you just introduce yourself with the name, years of experience quickly, and what is your expectations through this RPA and AI? Can we go one by one quickly, and we'll start the next session?
Okay, so Shiv, let me conduct this discussion. So Aditya, can you please share about yourself? Aditya, can you hear me? Okay. Anyatha, can you hear me?
Yeah, can I hear you?
Yeah. Please share about yourself, your name, your years of experience, and your past experience, and what is your expectation from this demo, from this RPA?
My name is Anyuta. I have done projects on IoT and robotics. Done one experiment. That's it. I have done. I don't have any experience related to this topic. That's why I want to know what is this.
Okay. Thank
Okay,
you.
thank.
Deepak.
Yes, I'm Deepak, and I have 3.4 years of experience in software testing, and I have no idea about RPA. So I want to just understanding about RPA and its process.
Okay, thank you, Deepak. Manjari. Manjari, can you hear me?
Hi, can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
Yeah, hi. I'm Manjari. I'm into the field of software for 8 years. Currently, I'm working as a test lead, and there has been some discussions going on if we can use RPA to automate one of our applications. So that's how I started exploring, and meanwhile, I got your invite, and that's why I wanted to join and see if I can, grab something from this session.
Okay. Thank you, Manjari. Next is
Thank you.
thank you, Pawan. Shiva Pawan Kumar. Can you hear me? Okay. Neeraja. Guys, speak up.
Yeah, hi.
Yeah, hello.
Yeah, hi. Myself, Neeraj Akshalu. So I have 8 years of experience in IT. Currently, I'm working as an automation test engineer with the Java and Selenium. So I want to switch my career with RPA.
Okay, fantastic. Thank you so much, Neeraja. Pooja.
Yeah, hi everyone. My name is Pooja Gupta. I'm having 8+ years of experience in software testing. Recently, I left MetLife and joined Entity Data as a principal consultant. And now, like, I'm exploring the new technologies like RPA, Salesforce. So that is why I'm into this session. So that, like, if it suits me, then definitely I'll go with this. And I would like to see myself as a RPA, whatever the things are in this. I don't know anything about it right now.
Okay, okay. Thank you so much, Pooja, for sharing. Pramod?
Yeah, hi. Are you hear me?
Yeah, yeah, we can hear you. Thank you.
Yeah. So myself, Pramod Mane. I have 3.9 years experience as a manual tester.
Mm-hmm.
So I want to make my career in automation, and I heard more than about this RPA from many of my friends. So I'm quite interested to learn the RPA automation and to make the career in the automation, RPA automation.
Okay, thank you
So
so
thank you.
much. Thank you so much, Pramod. Prerna? Prerna, can you hear me? Prerna, can you hear me? Okay, Priyanka? Okay, so people who will speak and introduce themselves, there is additional discount that I will disclose once this session will finish. And people who are not speaking, I'm just noting down the name, so there is no discount for them. Priyanka?
Hello.
Yes, Priyanka, can you hear me? Priyanka Shetty. Okay, Ruhi? Ruhi, can you hear?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Myself is Rohini. I have 2 years of experience in software manual testing. I have no idea about this RPA. That's it. I wanted to learn something new.
Okay, okay. Thank you, Ruhi. Next is Saba.
Hello.
Yeah, Saba.
Can you hear me?
Yes, Saba, I can hear you.
Yeah. I'm totally a fresher and I don't have any idea related to this automation, but I'm interested to carry my work progress and also career in this. So that's why I'm interested for these sessions.
Okay, thank you, Saba. Sanket.
Hello.
Yeah, Sanket.
Yeah, my name is Sanket Umrani, and I'm from Mumbai. And I have 4 years of experience as a manual plus automation tester.
Mm-hmm.
And I have been authorized to carry out RPA tools. Actually, the company is actually hoping that we have to explore ourselves and go for this RPA thing.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm in short authorizer for this thing. If this particular tool is like this thing is good for us, then we'll switch to this RPA.
Okay, okay. Thank you so much, Sanket. Who is SK? I request you please write your complete name, otherwise I have to drop you from this meeting. SK, again I'm repeating, please keep your name complete, full name or the first name, otherwise I have to drop you from this meeting. Superba?
Hello, my name is Suchita Kumari.
Sorry?
Hello.
Yeah.
SK, actually, my name is Suchita Kumari.
Okay.
Hello.
Yeah, Suchita, please.
Can you able to hear?
Yes, I can hear you. Please keep your name as a complete.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, Suchita.
My
please,
name is Suchita Kumari.
Mm-hmm.
I have 3-year experience in software testing, and currently I heard about the RPA automation anywhere and Blue Prisma, all things. So I want to switch my career on this. It is very interesting. So I want to learn about it and explore and gain knowledge some, and then I want to switch RPA.
Fantastic. Thank you so much. Suprava?
Yeah, hi, this is Suprava here.
Yeah.
Are you able to hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
Yeah, this is Suprava here. I'm having 8 years of experience in manual testing.
Mm-hmm.
So seeing all this RPA, I want to understand with this workshop. I expect I would be able to understand like what exactly it's looking for, and I heard like there are good opportunities with RPA. So with this workshop, I can able to ensure like whether and decide whether to take it forward as in career next to manual testing. So it will help me in understanding. Right now, I do not have any idea.
No problem. Thank you so much. Punit Reddy?
Yeah, good morning, everyone. Yeah,
Good morning.
I'm Unit Reddy, and I have 4 years of experience in a manufacturing unit as an assistant manager. And I just, as a Meki, I want to know how is RPA works, and I don't have any knowledge about this. So if it could help me to grow in my career, I just want to know. Thank
Okay,
you.
okay, no problem. Thank you so much. Welcome to the forum. Vaibhav?
Hi Nitish, hi Shiv, hi everyone. Yeah, my name is Vaibhav Mishra and I have total 9+ years of experience in manual testing, accessibility testing, some part of application support, production support, AWS. Like, past experience regarding to this RP is that I myself I have cleared the UiPath RPA Associate certification recently, and have some. As for now, my expectation is just have many queries regarding to this in terms of getting job and how to move further. So this from my side.
Okay, fantastic. Thank you so much, Vaibhav. Vikas?
Thank you.
Hi.
Hello.
Yeah, so I am Vikas, and actually I am more into HR and recruitment side, and I am looking to learn automation, and because I wanted to give it a try to automate few of the HR processes into my organization, and automation looks to me very promising, so I just wanted to learn it.
Okay, okay. Thank you so much,
Yeah.
Vikas. I hope I have not left anyone or anyone who
Sir,
has
hello.
left. Yep.
Yes, sir, Pranjal, this side.
Yeah, Pranjal.
Yes, I am from Core Java and Advanced Java domain, and I recently completed my MCA this year only from Jaipur National University, 2020 pass out. So I am looking for development field, development IT sector.
Okay, okay. Pranjal, please keep your name change. It is reflecting by the name of Dell. So keep yourself Pranjal.
Okay, sir. Okay, how can I do this, like, sir?
You can check in GoToMeeting. It is there. I hope no one has left by I have called each and everyone. So Shiv, we will have introduction by each and everyone, right?
Hello, sir. Hello, sir.
Yes.
My name is M. Shivapan Kumar, sir.
Yeah. Please tell me about yourself.
My name is M. Shivapan, sir. I am fresher, sir, 2019 pass out. So now I am interested to learn RPA. So that I am joining this.
Okay. Thank you so much. Thank you. So thank you, Shiv. I hope we have introduction with each and everyone, and I am just muting all except you. Yes.
Let's start with this RPA forum. Please, if you have any question in between, just shout. Just let me know. We will resolve. We'll solve the question and then we'll move further. Okay. Okay. As I understood, everyone is fresher. Everyone the fresher in the sense in the RPA field. Okay. So we need to check and we need to start the basics of it. If you learn, if you understand the basics, then only you can understand the in-depth knowledge. So to proceed with the RPA, to go with this RPA technology, first we need to understand what is the process automation. Okay. Now when we talk about the process automation, so we need to consider these tools which are available here. By the way, can you see my screen?
Yes, we can see.
Okay, cool. Let me. Okay, so we do have a SAP application on almost all organization. We do have a mainframe application, Salesforce, which is nothing but a CRM. Okay, these are the existing process automation. When I say existing process automation is nothing but there is one application where your data gets managed, where it will interact with your data, customer data, employee data, maybe your purchase data in sales data, whatever. So those data we need to feed to this system. Then only you will get, at the end of this day, you will get a report or you get a smooth transition. Okay. So what are the gaps related with this process automation? Okay. Before process automation, we generally do this paperwork, right? If you go into the 90 and before that, and once the computer came and these all process automation tool came, then we have done a lot of work paperless. We have added those data into this particular applications. So when we talk about the gaps in this process automation tool, which is already there in the market, for example, if I say SAP, okay, it needs human workforce. It needs a particular professional who understand the SAP to work on it. I'm not talking about any development or something. I'm just talking to work on it. Okay. Of course, it has a high cost and all this. If I talk about the mainframe, this is the mainframe application which we have. It is a complex system. Of course, it is used to connect your data from your one system. It has a more advantage, data security and all. But again, if I want to work on the mainframe automation, I need a professional who understands the mainframe. Okay, it contains the unstructured information. I need to understand that as well. And at the end, we have data entry. We have a CRM where it contains a lot of data entry quality. This is some example I have given. There are a lot of process automation tools in your organization. Maybe your internet application, intranet applications, where you use your where you put your details, or maybe it may be your HR portal where you get the pay slip and all. So this is something, an application, or we can say process automation, which is very much easy to done the work in an organization, especially in IT. Okay. Now that is the process automation. Now what is the robotics process automation? Okay. When we talk about the process automation, the only difference is added is a robotics word before the process automation, and that becomes the RPA, which is nothing but robotics process automation. In short, I would say my process automation remains the same, only it gets changed is a robots. Now what is this RPA now? Okay, so robotics process automation is nothing but RPA bot. So bot is nothing but a robot. Generally in RPA technology, we called it as a bot. Okay. Now, if I give the definition of what is RPA, whatever we have done before this, adding to this data mainframe, getting some information from SAP, or maybe from the CRM. So who is going to do that? Before RPA, the human who is working on it, maybe your stakeholder, maybe your SME, maybe a business person, maybe a KPO guy, maybe a data entry guy who is working on it. Okay. So robotics is added, and what becomes, instead of a human who is working on different process automation tool, now my bot will run, or my bot will execute all those tasks which you want to do on daily basis, on monthly basis, yearly basis, weekly basis, whatever it may be. Okay. Now, if I summarize to a definition, so what is RPA? RPA is nothing but it mimics the human behavior to day-to-day task. Okay, it does not mimic the human intelligence that is come into the AI and other part, machine learning. Only RPA is used to automate your daily task using a particular tool. Okay, what are those tools we'll discuss. Okay, so simple word, the definition, one line definition is your robotics automation tool or platform is operate on the orchestrator application software, in short, where users interface every day. Okay, instead of user, now we will have the bot. Okay, so this bot will work for you whole day, whole night, 24/7. Okay. Now, when we talk about the robot or bot, which we are saying, okay, there are two types of bot basically, or let's say robot. One is back office robot and another one is front office robot. When we create a robot in any tool, using any tool, maybe it's a UiPath, Blue Prism, Automation Anywhere, Work Fusion, we can have a choice whether you want to create a back office or a front office. So what is back office? So back office is nothing but it works independently without user interaction. For example, every day you need to go to this email Outlook where you will get a sales spreadsheet which needs to download and all the details you need to put into the SAP application. Once it's done, the SAP application gives this MIS report that you need to send map to, or you need to reply on that email saying these are the sales or these are the purchase inventory done, whatever. So here I don't require any assistance from a user. I can create a bot which can do this particular task on every day, or maybe on every 1 hour, or maybe in half an hour. Okay, and it works and it will send and everything, and at the end you will get an email saying bot has finished this work. So what is front office robot, which is also called as unassisted robot or user assisted robot? Sorry, front office robot is called as assisted robot or user assisted robot, while back office robot is also called as unassisted robot. When we talk about front office robot, some processes, maybe in your insurance domain or maybe banking domain, when I say processes, is nothing but a task which you do on daily basis. Some processes or some use cases or some particular manual flow I cannot automate through the RPA. Why? Maybe I need to call to customer in between that. Maybe I need to take the actual result from by going to that particular person. For example, if I want to, I'm talking about insurance domain. If I want to claim the processing, and if I have a query related with the claim, okay, my bot cannot call the customer, right? For in RPA, AI we can call. Here in RPA we cannot call. So hence, till that part my bot will work. Bot will ask user, boss, you need to call this customer. This is the query. He or she will call, and then whatever is the outcome from the customer, you will provide as an input to this bot, and then bot again it will pick your input and it will start. In between this, we need a user assistance. We need a human to work with bot, and that is the reason it is called front office robot. If I need a human, then why should I create a bot? As I told you, out of 100%, you have automated 90%. So if in your organization there are 10 claim processing agents, I don't require those 10, right? I will have only 2 or 3. The rest I will replace with this bot. So 2 or 3 for what? To just interact with the bot. So this is how it works. Okay. We have seen the RPA definition, the bot. Now what exactly is the bot? So bot is nothing but a process, as I told you, the process or a manual flow which you have in your organization. Maybe the claim processing, right? Employee adding the employee details, or maybe your employee onboarding. There are a lot of use cases which we will see. Those processes are nothing but your manual flow which you are doing. Those processes, when I execute on my bot machine or a particular machine, maybe it's your laptop or maybe a desktop, then I would say my bot is running. Process plus bot machine or a machine. When I'm running my process which is developed in any tool, UiPath or Blue Prism, and if I'm running that process to one machine, then I would say my bot is running, or my robo is running, or my robot is performing the task. Okay, this particular machine always is a virtual machine in RPA. Okay, so where your process will run. Of course, the process you need to develop in your any one of the tool, UiPath or Blue Prism. Okay, so this is how the bot and the RPA definition. Okay, any question on this so far? I'll take no. Okay, let's see. So what are the characteristics? By the way, why it is booming, why it is growing, the RPA technology, why every company or every organization is adopting? Because of reasons. Okay. Characteristics of RPA means what we have here, it works on presentation layer. So as I told you, there are process automation tools, SAP, mainframe. We are not replacing those tools, by the way. We are only replacing a human who is working on it. Okay. We are not at all replacing those automation, those process automation tools. That is the reason it works on presentation layer. Okay. There should be a UI. Of course, presentation layer is nothing. Presentation is only not related. It's not only related with the UI which you can see, whether on web browser or desktop. But along with this, yes, on the back end, if you have any query related with the SQL, Oracle, MongoDB, or any web API, or any SOAP-based services, or any other thing, DLL and all, you can also automate that. Okay. Here, no coding is required. Okay. Again, here is a debatable question. If I am going for RPA, whether I need a coding or not, but company is asking for a coding. Company is asking for coding when they want a particular software or maybe the particular flow want to convert back to this RPA. First, second thing, yes, coding is not at all required, but if you have, that would be the additional advantage. Where we will get, we'll talk this later on. We can create non-intrusive automation. What is this? Again, we'll discuss. And also you can create the automation apps using this tool. What are the benefits? It's everywhere. Everyone knows this. It will give you the low manpower cost. It is a future proof. Be ready for a future proof. Eliminates the error. Better quality. There is no, the task which you are doing manually, now it will become much faster, right? And of course, bot will work 24/7 without. Yeah.
Sorry to interrupt you. Actually, I'm able to see only the first page of the slide, like what is robotic process automation. I think that you page on which this is Vaibhav.
Okay, this is for all or just for Vaibhav?
For all.
I'm not. Sorry?
Yeah, I'm also able to see only first page.
I'm also able to see.
That's the same for everyone, I think.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry. Sorry. Let me reshare. I didn't know this. Okay. Can you see now?
No, sir.
Right now? Right
No,
now.
Shiv, we cannot see your screen.
What happened?
Yes, Shiv, now we can see your screen.
Can you see my screen?
Yes, now we
Yeah,
can
it's
see.
visible now.
Yes.
I'm slide number 15. Can you see the slide number 15? Benefits of RPA?
Yes, sure. Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. Let me go again. I'll not repeat everything, but so this is a process automation tool I was talking. Right? You can see it now, right? Okay, cool.
Yes.
Okay, cool. And this is my bot, which I was talking, this RPA robotics bot. This is all the definition which we discussed. Even I have told this two types of bot, back office and the front office. And what exactly means by bot? So bot is nothing, it's not only your process, it's a process plus the bot machine where you run. Okay, and this is I can say my bot is running. So we were talking about these characteristics. works on presentation, no coding required. We can create non-intrusive automation and application automation apps, which is reusable. Okay. We were talking about this benefits of RPA, where it is more scalable, elements error and all. And this is the slide which were, so right now I'm 15 slide benefits of RPA, where it will give us the benefit 24/7. Along with this, bot will work 24/7. Along with this, there is no any leave or any additional resource, which additional infrastructure we need to provide to bot. Maybe it's your canteen, or maybe it's a desk, maybe everything, transport and all. Okay. If we talk about the matrix, in general matrix, on an average, if a process is taking 3 minutes manually, when I say process, again, it may be your adding the details to the CRM, providing some, getting detail, reading email and providing to the SAP, mainframe application, going there and updating some tasks, all this thing. On an average, if it is taking 3 minutes using this RPA, it will reduce by almost 2.75 minutes. I mean, almost we can have this within this 15 seconds. In short, 90% will get reduced. Average waiting time becomes 0 because it works in bot, so there is no any waiting period, and the quality, of course, it's 100%. Okay, so this is process done manually. Earlier we used to have this 3 people working on 3 different applications, Salesforce, CRM, mainframe, whatever. Okay, right now I need one software robot, one software bot who will work on all these 3 applications. Okay, so this is all about this RPA definition and what is bot and everything. We need to understand the fact of this industry as well. Talk of the town. What is this talk of the town? If you remember, and even if you might have read various articles, various newspapers, where you can see there is a Cognizant layoff, there is Infosys layoff, and all this thing. Yes, that is a fact. You cannot deny it, and this is a fact. So the Gartner research, this is again, it's not my word. I have taken it from this Gartner and HFS research, where you can Google it. So Gartner says there will be a 1.4 million jobs will trim by 2021. Okay. Even HFS says there will be a loss of 6.4 lakh low skill job. Okay, when I say low skill, so understand one, this is not something I need to underestimate you all, but yes, low skill means someone is doing a same task on daily basis. Maybe your KPO guy, maybe your BPO guy, maybe your data entry guy, or maybe your manual tester who is actually creating a test case and executing, or maybe some support guy who is doing some, who's monitoring the control room, who is monitoring this jobs which are scheduled, and if it is failed, then it is sending an email, whatever. Or maybe your ServiceNow remedy tool, where you are creating the tickets and managing that. Okay, so I would not say it's a low skill, I would say it's a, yeah, those jobs will get trimmed over the year. Okay, it's already started, by the way. And because we are in India and we have various service-based company in India, we don't have the product-based that much. So we work for different client. Of course, there would be a problem for Indians who's actually worked in the service base and who manage to have, who don't have the upgraded skill in their resume. Okay. Yes, this is the fact, and because of this, there would be a job. So this is the one fact, okay, and these are the industry which is on high risk because of RPA or because of new technology. BPO, KPO, e-commerce, insurance, healthcare, HR, testing, BFSI or BFS domain, and these are all the role. Okay. Now coming back to the second point, which is the second side of this thing. So one thing is, yeah, because of RPA and because of all new technology, AI and all machine learning, there will be a trim in the job. But at the same time, if I'm saying I don't require a human, but I need a bot. Okay, so bot will, someone has to develop it, someone has to build this. So who will going to do that? Of course, we are the developer, RPA developer or AI developer who will create a bot, software robot or bot, right? So these are the new technology in this market now. We have a AI, IoT, blockchain, 3D printing, RPA, machine learning, cyber intelligence, where we need to reskill and upskill if you want to survive in IT industry. That is fact. And every time we need to upgrade ourselves, then only there is a value. Okay. So this is a visualization with the example. I'll come back to this next later on, but let's talk about this opportunity. Okay, I told you, right? If I don't want a human, I need a bot. And to need, if I want to create a bot, again I need a human. But this here in this case, I need a human, I need a developer who knows the RPA, who knows the IPA, IPA intelligent process automation, or a AI, or a chatbot developer, right? So why we need to do this? Because there is an opportunity. If you open this Naukri or if you open the Google, and you will find that yes, there will be a 8.7 billion jobs will be available by 2024. RPA market size says. Again, this is a research. RPA is next big thing in this BPO and ITO, which is already started. Okay, I work for an insurance domain where we have replaced 500 claim agents. Okay, we have replaced 500 plus claim agents because we automated all those things. There are 5,000 employees who is working on this, one of the biggest insurance company in the world. I cannot give the detail. That is my project. Okay, where we have replaced 500. Again, ultimately we are replacing, more than half of these people will lose their job. It's only, I'm talking about the insurance claim agent, but there are other things as well. Okay, so RPA will be the expected to see compound annual growth rate more than 60.5% worldwide. It's already been started. Okay, so now what are the use cases where we can implement the RPA, where we can have RPA? For every organization, if I go and if I search, I will find more than 25 plus use cases. And if I go to the telecom industry, if I go to the insurance, if I go to the banking domain, if I go to the manufacturing domain, I will find more than 100 plus use cases where I can implement the RPA. For example, insurance client profile update, application processing, by checking what is the type of policy, claim processing. Then according to the claim, I need to process it, right? Whether it's a payout disease, whether it's a insurance, whether it's a other type of other claims. Financial services, statement reconciliation, credit card applications. If you know that S Bank, even your Citibank, in the Citibank we have more than 250 bots which is running on the production. You can we can see if you have anyone in the Citibank, you can ask. Okay, so we have implemented more than 250 bots in their Bangalore location. Okay, healthcare, patient registration. There are other parts as well in the, especially in the field of AI. We have used a lot of AI in the healthcare. Human resource HR, as I told you, onboarding. When you onboarded, you will get you need to send all the documents. Though your detail will go to the various domain, various departments. Sorry, admin department, payroll department, your PF department, which is government. Someone is doing this, right, back behind the scene. You will get ID, you will get some PF number and all. So someone is feeding the data. Of course, there will be an application, but along with this application, who is doing this, there will be a HR or maybe the HR assistant. We don't need those people now. Why I can do it through the bot. And these are the all.
Are you on slide number 24? I can see slide number 23 still.
Oh, why? So I don't know what is that. So this is for everyone. Now I am 24, slide number 24.
No, on 23.
No, it's showing slide number 23.
Yes, it's 23 shifts.
Okay,
Yeah,
sorry for
it's showing 20.
Yeah, I will understand. Sorry for the inconvenience. Let me, I don't know what's happening, but let me reshare again. Okay, so by the way, we are almost into this particular PPT. Generally, I don't advise through PPT, but this is the first session, so I need to go. Otherwise, we start through the practical. Anyway, can you see now 24th slide?
No, sir.
No, not yet. We don't see a screen now.
No, Shiv, we cannot see your screen.
Okay. Okay. If you don't mind, can I rejoin, guys?
Yeah, that's a perfectly fine. No problem.
Okay. Just pardon for this 2-3 minutes. I'll rejoin and then we'll again start.
Okay, Shiv, we are waiting for you.
Yeah, sure.
Okay. In the meantime, guys, I just request if you have any question related to RPA. I mean, like what he's saying. So you can just stop him and you can ask your queries related to RPA. How I mean, whatever he's saying. So I again I say don't rely on anyone, just what the person is saying, but judge and evaluate the things according to your knowledge and your understanding, right? It is not that I am saying something and you rely on that. You have to do R&D and you have to just check on internet anywhere or your friends what others are saying. Shiv, welcome. Shiv, can you hear?
Yes, Hitesh, I rejoined again.
Okay, I just make you present. I was saying to them, don't rely on the slides. I mean, you can ask your queries and you can go and do the Google also.
Okay. No, it's fine. I think I have updated this GoToMeeting.
Yeah.
Let's start. So now, can you see my screen?
Yes, now it is visible.
Yes.
Oh, cool. Thank you.
Yes.
Okay, cool. Okay, so we are on the 24th slide. I think yeah, I'll start. So these are the use cases which we were talking. The use cases related to the insurance domain, financial services, healthcare, HR, and others. Okay. So there are a lot of, not only this, if you Google, you will get more than 100+ use cases where you can apply this bot. Okay, cool. So let's move on the next slide where we can now see what are the vendors or what are the tools available in the market for this RPA. So RPA is a technology, and to do this technology, to develop anything in that technology, we do have a vendor. We do have a vendors, or you can say RPA tools. There are a lot of tools available in the market now, but these are the some of them. Blue Prism, Automation Anywhere, WorkFusion, UiPath, OpenSpan. Even Google has created, so they are in this process now. Yeah, but mainly Blue Prism, UiPath, and the Automation Anywhere. These are the leading in the market. And if I want to give the sequence, then I would say the UiPath is one, then second is the Blue Prism, and then third one will be the Automation Anywhere, and then rest are the after that. Okay, so this is the tools and their we can say category. Yeah, of course, the deciding the tool or which one we want to use in an organization, that would be one additional steps where organization needs to decide with the help of RPA consultant. What are the parameters and all this thing, we'll discuss this later on. So later on, this is in the question answer we'll discuss. I believe that question will come up. Industry-wise distribution, some of the core RPA capability. These all are UiPath, Blue Prism, all are core capability, RPA capability. Some are for, which is used only for front office robot. Some are used for your BPM tool like Pega. Even Pega is now become an RPA tool, if you heard. There is again OCR concept, OCR technology, where we can have a tool. Okay. Okay, so how to start or how to create a bot? You just need to understand the tool. You just need to start with the basic one and then the complex and then advisory means actual project in this tool. What are the prerequisites to learn this RPA? So you just need to understand how the flow diagram works, how the sequence diagram works, and understanding the capability of the business process or the domain knowledge. Whether if you are working for insurance, you should have the insurance domain. If you doesn't have, it's still fine. You can learn that. It is not it's rocket science or something. Who can learn? Anyone who wants to improve their chance to getting the white collar job. Okay. Who wants test automation engineer who wants to make a larger impact. Ultimately, if I say only the manual tester is doing same task, why should I can't go with the bot? Of course, the bot will not create test script, but if I apply the rule in the machine learning or AI, that is also possible. So why I need a test automation guy? I can have one bot there. Business leaders who want to automate their operation in their organization, or maybe the main owner of this organization. Anyone wanting to save the time, reduce the error and all. Okay, so this is all about this RPA. For now, any question on this part? Okay, no question. Okay, that's
Hi,
good.
Shiv, this is Manjari.
Yeah, hi, Manjiri.
Yeah, hi. So as you already mentioned, you've told that there's no coding background required because currently I am a manual tester and I am more into management, being a lead. So when you say no coding automation required, does it not involve in any process of this, in any stage of this RPA automation? Nothing
Okay,
at all,
good.
or do you suggest that some basic programming language would be better for anyone to learn?
Okay, good question, Manjiri. So first of all, yeah, we need to understand, as I told you, coding is not at all required. If you have, that is additional advantage. This is one thing. Second thing, if I want to write a code to do this task automation, so why should I buy a RPA tool? That is the question. Okay, I will hire a developer and then I will automate. Okay, which is not at all possible because the cost and everything. That is the reason when you go for any tool, for example, this is RPA tool, okay, which is a UI part. If you, I just give this overview, high level overview. So this is my entire flow, or I would say it's a sequence, how it start and how it go. I don't need to write code here because all I have activities present in UI part. Now this activity is nothing but, for example, if I want to provide a message box, I do have the activity. I don't need to create a code. I means what? In short, behind the scene, RPA tool creates the coding. RPA tool return the code to get this done. But as a RPA developer, I don't need to go in detail of the coding. What I need to understand how this activity works. So there is no coding. Now coming to the question again, that how much we don't need, I mean how many process. So yes, if in your organization, if there is a complex process, if I say, if I calculate there are 10 processes in your organization which you want to automate or which you want to do this RPA. Out of 10, you don't require coding almost for 8 or I would say 8.5. Okay, remaining one process or maybe the 1.5 process or 2 process. There, I would not say it's you need a hardcore developer to do this thing. No, it is just to understanding the basic concept or just getting some help of the code, especially in RPA, all about the .NET code, not in Java code. There is no tool which you can write a Java code. We have a C# or VB language. Every tool has given this advantage that if you want to write a code, you have a rights to write the code within using the C# or VB language. Okay, where we require the code. When your RPA tool ends, something doing, your coding start. Okay. For example, every day I'm getting an Excel file which contains 10,000 records in that Excel file. Maybe it's your claim processing, or maybe it's something sales data where you need to follow, whatever. And my RPA bot will apply loop on this to read one by one. Of course, it will take time to do this. It will take means time in the sense maybe it will take 10 minutes on an average if I calculate 14. But user wants, or the organization wants, within this 2 minutes, or maybe the minimum of that. What I would do, instead of dragging and dropping the activity here to apply the loop on this 10,000 tool, maybe I would have my own code where it will iterate all this collection. Of course, it is not the code which I will return for this will not be the fully without this RPA. Everything will be this RPA only. I will just plug and play kind of thing. I'll create a plug and play kind of thing where it just get the data in the collection and iterate, which may take less time if I go with this RPA. This is one example which we have done. Yeah. So in this case, I can apply. So sometimes you need to apply coding to optimize your solution, or sometimes because of this complexity of the process, RPA tool itself not handle. Yes, in that case it required. And again, as I told you, that is the fix. Out of 10 projects, you don't need to write 8 or 8.5 project code. If I want to write all of the 10 projects, it is not the best solution using this RPA tool. Instead of that, I will go with some other development. Right? So this is the reason when it comes for RPA tool, understanding the consulting the RPA tool, we first understand their processes as RPA consultant. And once organization or company decides, okay, we want to go with this tool, and this parameter are various. Your process is the parameter to find the proper tool. What are the process you have in your organization? What is your cost of organization? How much is the budget, in short, right? Whether they require additional team, additional resources and all. So everything is the parameter to understand or to select the tool. And based on that, we select the tool, whether it's a Blue Prism, whether it's a UiPath or automation, anywhere. So coding is, I would say, not mandatory, but if you have, that is additional advantage. And again, when you become RPA developer, you don't need to worry what is my tool. They already decided, and you will get this particular tool where you need to work on it, where you have a team. And if you got a project which contains this coding and you don't know, yes, either way you need to learn those basics of it, or maybe that project will get allocated to someone who knows the coding. But yes, I do have references where I can provide you over LinkedIn as well, where who don't know about this coding, now they are in the RPA. And that is the main aim of RPA. If I need a coding, so why should I again buy this license? I'll do this something else. So that is the main agenda. This is a drag and drop facility which is given by RPA tools. Manjari, you got your answer?
Sure. Yeah, sure. That was good. Thank you.
Yeah.
Yes.
Vaibhav this side. Yeah. Shiv, I have, sorry. Yeah. I have one question to this question itself. As per my understanding and as per whatever I have read about the RPA and the UiPath, so I found that as my background is a manual tester and accessibility tester and some application support and all that. So when I started creating the workflows in the UiPath, so I found that some kind of basic knowledge of the Visual Basic or the .NET kind of a use of those basic functions. For example, like in the string manipulation, or during the like all the loops are there within the UiPath itself. So somewhere it is might be it is 2% or 5%. I don't have any much experience, so I'm just have query that kind of a basic knowledge of during my practicing or during my reading or studying. I found that it requires that basic knowledge while developing the things. Even in the robotic framework also. And this is my kind of a question query, whatever you think. And the second part is that as I have applied for some jobs, so in most of the jobs, in out of 100, out of 10, 6 to 7 jobs, they want kind of a developer background. If you have developer background, in that they mention that you should know the .NET or the Visual Basic, which is the base of the strictly UI. Somewhere after entering into the RPA, I found that okay, if you have that, that is your path is easy. But if you are coming from the background, which is like your tester or the support profile, then somewhere if anyone have to choose between tester who is doing the RPA and the developer who is doing the RPA, or a kind of a knowledge of Visual Basic or the .NET, then getting more advantage. I'm not very sure. I'm just expressing my views, what I have read or what I have faced while applying the jobs. So
Okay.
yeah.
Yeah, good point, Vaibhav. So first of all, when we talk about this UI part, as I already told, having the basic knowledge of .NET is added advantage. Why? What does it means? Basically, in UI path, all the functionalities, whatever it is written, by default, it is a VB language. Okay. If I want to, for example, let me open this. If I want to understand what is the string functions, of course, this is string.empty, what it does. These are some basics of any coding. Okay, not only for .NET but any. So you need to understand this basics of .NET when it comes for a UI path. Okay, UI path, I do agree. UI path contains some sort of functions where you need to have this knowledge. Okay, it doesn't mean that you need to write a code. It means that you should know what exactly the string function does, what exactly the variable or collection does, what is the data table. And this is the basic, as I told you again, which is only applicable for UI path. Okay, not for Blue Prism. Blue Prism does not have this kind of function. Blue Prism has its own different mechanism. Okay, now I have opened this with this particular sheet. This is Word document where I have this is when we start. As I told you, the coding is required or not. It totally depends on the tool or the decision when we consult it. Even if I create 10 projects in the UI path, again I'm saying we don't require coding for a project. When I say coding, it doesn't mean that you cannot, the string function is not available there. Of course, there might be, and this is a basic. This kind of is not a coding. Okay, this is the basics of any platform. When I say coding, means I need to write a code like a class file where I need to write a logic. Okay, how it comes and how it does. Here in this UI path, I don't need to do that. What I need to do, how my constant will work, or what is the constant mean, what type of data will present in that, what is the single, what is the data table, how this array works in this UI path. Why? Because UI path uses the basics of .NET, or it uses the .NET, all the .NET functions, whether it's a string.empty, whether it's a if I go these all are functions, and these functions came from the .NET. It's not created by UiPath. Here you required for UiPath. When you go to the Blue Prism, you will not find this kind of function. Yeah, you can write the code over there as well, but that is a different approach. So, Vaibhav,
Yes, yes, sure.
yeah, so this is a fact. Now coming to again the out of 10 you find 7 or 6 with the .NET with the coding and all. See, Indian company, so RPA projects is something is not more than a year, also, right? If I create 100 process, if I want to create 100 process in my organization, I don't need for RPA developer for 5 years. I need or in India, service-based industry, what they want multitasker. They want RPA plus .NET, so that, of course, this is the additional advantage for the RPA project. If somewhere he or she is stuck, he can start doing this. Plus, if there is no RPA project, then yeah, of course you can switch to other. So I would not say that is a strategy or something, that is their own call. But totally, yeah, I will not agree with the 7% or 70%. Yeah, I would say 50 or maybe the 40% based on their client requirement, where you should have the basic of .NET. Now, if you don't have basic, again I'm saying basics, and I'm focusing on the basics. Okay, it doesn't mean that RPA developer should write a lengthy code. Even in the interview, they will not ask you to write a code. What are the basics? Data table, if you know what is the array, and these all things you need. Now, if I am a manual tester, of course, I should in your organization, or maybe in your curriculum in the college, you have done the C or C++. If you don't know the basics for now, okay, if you don't know the basics for now in any language, not about this .NET, any Java, maybe the C or C++, then of course there is a you should learn that first. You should learn that basics of it. What is data table? I'm saying basics of it. Again, it's not writing the code at all. Understanding the coding programming. And who are the who has done the Selenium, and they have already used the Java. So they know that what the Java works, how the Java works. They know the functions and all these things. So I don't think there will be a problem while doing this coding or basics of coding in UiPath. Blue Prism, there is no such functions. You can use .NET functions, but not like this way.
Okay.
Yeah. So yes, we need to not see. We can't say, okay, I have done the RPA tool, means I have won all the things. It's not like that. Of course, if you have any basics of it, that is added advantage. For UiPath, it requires. Okay, UiPath is requires. If you go for a Blue Prism profile, I don't think so. They have asked you. If they have asked you, that might be a problem. Might be a complex process in that. When I say complex process, it may be extracting the data from somewhere API, or maybe some other part of it. So there is a lot of ways. But yes, having RPA basics of .NET with UiPath will work. Only RPA tool for Blue Prism automation will also work. This is one. And on top of that, what we are providing, we are also providing the cognitive RPA. Now, what is this cognitive RPA? RPA you have seen, which is UiPath or Blue Prism. The cognitive RPA is next level of RPA, where I'll just quickly go through this, where it will mimics your human intelligence. Now, again, there is a confusion here. So if I say cognitive RPA is not at all the AI, artificial intelligence. It's a part of AI. Okay. Now, when we talk about the cognitive RPA, first of all, of course, we need to learn the basics of RPA, which we will do, and then later on we'll go with this one, cognitive RPA, where, so I'll just give this simple example. So this is my RPA. This is the RPA, where system that do data calculation, preparation, RPA, speech to text, and all this. This is my cognitive RPA, where system will think, smart APIs, automatic automation, NLP, natural language processing, okay, which is used in the chatbot. So this is something the cognitive RPA, and this is, I can say, the next level of AI, which contains the AI part, machine learning, system that learn and understand, and then itself it decides what would be the next step. Okay. In the share market, we are creating this called AI bot, where it will understand the future market trend and all. You can find in Google as well. But yes, there is a lot of advance in that. Maybe if you heard about the Google's car without driver, that is nothing but AI. So that is a vast technology. AI, in the AI, there are a lot of services available. What we do in the cognitive RPA, we do the repetitive tasks, which we then convert to this cognitive. When I say cognitive, in short, my RPA bot or my UiPath bot or my Blue Prism bot will connect with some other cognitive tool, which is nothing but IBM Watson, which is a cognitive tool, or my Google Flow, or my Microsoft Microsoft's framework. So these are nothing but cognitive RPA. So in short, cognitive RPA is nothing but Blue Prism or any RPA tool plus other cognitive tool. Okay, now what is the cognitive RPA exactly mean? So it actually recognizes your pattern. It's a machine learning is not part of this cognitive RPA, but it is understand the statistic of statistics of your data by applying the algorithm, and by using the NLP, natural language processing. Now, what is natural language processing? Let me give you this one example. So natural language processing is nothing but it actually reads, your bot actually understand the human written English. Okay, human written English means if he's saying hi, hello, hola, like this, so bot can understand any type of language coming from the user, whether it is English, Japanese, Hindi, or any other language. Okay, this is a part of cognitive RPA. NLP plays a vital role in cognitive RPA, especially in chatbot. Now, if you have an iPhone, there is a Siri in that, and if you encounter with this Siri, if you talk something, it will open. If you want to open the Google Chrome and see the weather's report, or maybe open any application, so it will get open. Siri is a kind of cognitive tool, okay, where it converts your speech, your voice into text, and then accordingly it processes. Even this Cortana, where you will find in the Microsoft, this is again a cognitive tool. Not only here, even your Ola, Uber, when you go to this finding the shortest and without traffic route is nothing but behind the scene there is a cognitive and the machine algorithm as well, right? So this is nothing but these are the vendors available for the cognitive automation. When I say cognitive, again, where you are adding some additional brain to the bot, okay, where it will work on unstructured data, where it will understand the NLP, where it will understand what exactly user wants to say, and accordingly your bot will work. There is no one tool available to do all these things. You need to combine the tool. One is your RPA tool, another one is any one of this IBM Watson, Microsoft Office, Microsoft Bot Framework, Dialogflow, Google's, Amazon Lex, ManyChat is no more now. Amazon is again where you can create. So Amazon Lex, IBM Watson, and the Dialog Google's. These are all in the market now. These are in the leading in the market. So what we do in the Watson services, by the way. Now if I go one by one, so what you will learn. Can you hear me, guys? By the way.
Yeah, we can hear you, Shiv, but there was some background, but yes, we can hear you.
Sorry for that. So we are all working from this lockdown.
Yeah, no problem.
Pardon
okay.
this background.
I understand.
Okay. Before going to this Watson services, let's understand how the cognitive application works. So cognitive applications or cognitive bot, how it works. So it is actually use the deep learning algorithm and the neural network. Okay, it understands the depth of the data, what exactly it means, and there is a predefined rules, or I would say there is a predefined format or data. On the basis of that, bot will perform. For example, let's say chatbot. If I am saying hi, okay, someone also says hey, someone also says hello, or someone also says hola, kind of thing, right? So there are multiple data or multiple inputs to greet the people, right? So what I will do, or what I'll create in this chatbot, I will create a set of rule or set of data or set of this bunch of possibilities. Let's say 5 or 10 I have given to chatbot. Okay, when you get this hi, hello, hola, or hey, namaste, or whatever, then you need to respond this hi. Okay. Now the chatbot or NLP, behind the scene, it uses the NLP, natural language. So what it does, it understands what is coming from the user, and accordingly it will provide. If the inputs is not fit into the provided list, they say here hi, hello, namaste, hola, something, then it itself recognize it, do the deep learning algorithm, and if it matches with this one, fourth, or with this particular greeting, then still it will provide you the correct result. And that is the reason it is called as a deep learning, or it is called as a cognitive RPA. If only I want to do whatever, I will set a rule and then you need to respond, then I don't need any tool. I will use in my even Excel sheet, right? Okay, this is something, bunch of data, then respond this if you get it in this one. No, so it will learn itself, and that is the reason it behind the scenes uses deep learning algorithm and neural networking. It works on structure and structured data. Again, on this top of this cognitive RPA, which we were talking, or which we are talking here, is related with the tool wise. We are not going to create any particular AI or API using the any language. All these are inside this your tool. Which tool? Maybe your IBM Watson, maybe your Google Dialogflow, maybe Amazon Lex. You just need to use those services. Okay. Now, this is how it works. Now, if you see, this is the, so what are the services available, by the way, when I say cognitive RPA? When I say cognitive RPA, what I can get the services. The services is totally depends on the tool which you are selecting. First, let's understand the characteristics of RPA. It is adaptive, interactive, iterative, contextual. Okay. Now, what are the things, or what are the cognitive RPA example for you? So chatbot is a one thing. Okay, chatbot is a one thing, but if I want to automate something using the RPA tool, where can I apply cognitive? So cognitive tool, there are a lot of services available where, if I go to this UI path, let me open this. This is a UI path which has been added, the version of AIM plus RPA. This is a Google Dialogflow. Let me open this, where you can only create chatbot, okay, which is the part of this course and all. This is IBM Watson, which are talking, where we have this services. These all are services, which is nothing but cognitive services and the AI. What it is? Natural language classifier. It will classify your language, text to speech. Let me open this again. Okay, so this is visual recognition. Visual recognition means whether you have whatever the image you are providing, whether it's a bottle image, whether it's a human image, whether it's a tech hardware image, whether it's an electronics image. These all are services, by the way, which we will use in our RPA tool. It's a UI path or a your Blue Prism or a automation engine. Natural language classifier, as I told you, text to speech. if user wants to give some data through text and you want to convert into the speech, maybe the alarm, maybe the something, anything, right? Vice versa, speech to text. Language translator, if you want to convert, if you are getting data in the form of Japanese and you want to convert in the English, you can do that, and then those data you can provide to your RPA tool, and then it will process again those processed data. RPA tool will provide to this IBM Watson to convert back to the Japanese, and then it will send back to this user or maybe the customer. Tone analyzer, where it is useful when it comes for a customer support, whether the customer is happy or whether this customer is angry, whether this customer is not satisfied, something. Again, behind the scene, it uses the deep learning algorithm. You just need to use this process in your RPA tool by calling through the API. Okay. Then machine learning is a part of, it's not part of this, but machine learning you can do using IBM Watson. So these are the IBM Watson services, where if I go to the dialog flow, I can have only the this Google Dialog Flow, I can only create a chatbot, especially designed for chatbot. It's very much popular now. IBM, you can also create a chatbot using the IBM Watson as well, which is called Watson Assistant. And this is the dialog flow. What we are doing, we will use all the services, right? Language translator, classifier from this IBM Watson, and will create a dialog, or will create a chatbot here in this dialog flow. So there is a concepts to create entity and all. Again, there is a no coding required. We just need to provide some data and to understand how it works, right? So now, apart from this, even the RPA tool are including the AI part in their RPA tool itself. For example, UiPath has added computer vision. Is a one part of working on the surface automation, or we would say Citrix based application, which is nothing but it understand as a usual desktop application, it will work on it. So Blue Prism has not yet started any AI particular activity, but yes, UiPath. But again, there is a limitation, there is a limited services by UiPath here. If you want to do the additional, you have to plug other cognitive tool, and which we are seeing. So in short, you will get to know the RPA tool, whether it's a UiPath or Blue Prism, the dialog flow, how you create the chatbot, and the IBM Watson services, how to call those in your RPA tool, and what are the use cases. Maybe the service now, what are the use cases we'll do in this in the practical session. So this is nothing but your cognitive RPA. So at the end of this course, or at the end of the learning, you in your resume you will have a Google Dialog Flow, IBM Watson, and one RPA tool. And that's the reason, if you see here, I've added this particular one, how it Watson works. It adopts the data and learn itself. Okay, it generates the pattern, and it works, it checks, it visualizes if there is an image, if we want to recognize whether it's a celebrity image, whether it's a particular XYZ person's image and all. It receives data, it performs behind the scene, and at the end you will get the result. And there is a history of this. IBM Watson has started in the 2006, but actually it started in the 2014. IBM Watson, as name itself suggests, is the IBM's tool. Watson is the first person who is the CEO of IBM, and the name of they have given this one. In detail, we'll go when it starts. And these are the services which I have shown in the Google. It is an old picture, hence I have shown in the Google itself, where we have visual recognition, text to speech, and all these things. So at the end, your cognitive bot will be nothing but your RPA tool process plus your Watson service plus your chatbot and the end result. That's the bottom line. So again, this Visual Basics, so when we go for a UiPath, or when we start the UiPath, we also do this basics of .NET. So you don't need to worry on this. This is a part of the syllabus, you would say, where you will understand what is the concept of .NET, basic of .NET. when it comes for UiPath. What is the data item? What is the data table, collection, string, and operations, and all these things. So that is something, yes, included. For Blue Prism, it's not required, but yes, additional, there are different things which is, it's not required. It doesn't mean that you cannot use. Yes, you can use. So that is useful for that tool as well. Okay, I think I have done my part. Sorry, I have taken much time, but still, if you have any questions, please raise your hand.
Okay.
So Shiv, you told that you have some people who have moved from manual testing to RPA without, prior developer experience as such. So would it be possible to give some reference so that we can also get a, if I can contact and get a real-time feel of it for more confidence?
Manjari,
definitely.
Yeah. Shiv, let me take this. Thank you. Manjari, you can ping me individual in the same WhatsApp group. I cannot disclose right now my organization name, but I have moved from manual testing to RPA, and
Okay.
I am working there. I mean, initially as a QA, and now I am working there as a BA in RPA. So I have worked on Blue Prism. I have worked on right now I'm working on Automation Anywhere, and my next project which is assigned to me is in UiPath. Yes, I moved from manual testing to RPA, and I do
Okay.
not have any
All right, Nitesh.
coding
I'll
knowledge.
get in touch with you offline. All right then.
Yeah.
Yeah, sure. Thank you.
So Aditya, Pavan, Nirja, Pooja, Pramod, Ruhi, Shaba, and Suprava, Unit, Vaibhav, Vikas. Any question? Any doubt?
Hi, this is Suprava here.
Yeah.
I had the same question which Manjari has taken into, so it clarifies my doubt as well. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. So, Shiv, just want to know that how people can switch. I mean, how your training is going to helpful for them, because most of the people are either a fresher or from a manual testing background, right? So how your training is going to helpful, how they can update their resume, because see, ultimately I understand that at present scenario, I'm not saying manual testing is nowhere applicable, but manual testing is low comparatively, right? Organizations are asking either having a very good coding knowledge, and they are asking full stack QA instead of expertise only in Selenium or anything. They are asking Selenium, performance, API, everything, right? And sometimes it becomes challenge to learn the coding part, because which is required in automation. So how your training is going to help these people to turn their or switch their career from manual testing to RPA, and what you will help them in their resume preparation or project?
Yeah, okay. So Nidesh, that's the reason I have shown. So when we start this particular course, we'll start with the basic of the .NET, which is required for a RPA tool, which is required for RPA. If you are going for UiPath, or maybe for Blue Prism is something, we'll do that. And along with this, there would be a RPA tool which is in your resume. And at the end of this course, there will be resume building and all. So for manual tester to switch it, I don't think so there would be a problem, because he or she will understand the basics of .NET plus RPA tool plus this chatbot, and along with this, how to build a resume, how to go through this interview, how to prepare the interview and all. Okay, so starting from the basic till the end, we are going to we are the part of this whole process. So that is not only even for manual tester, for everyone. But yes, manual tester has less background coding knowledge. There is some limitations maybe. So that part we are covering as the basics of .NET when we actually start.
Okay, and
Okay, so would you be assisting with the form of interviews that might come up in terms of RPA and stuff?
Once we done this one, yes, we are helping you to how to start or how to build your resume. Plus, we will give you the interview question answer. Plus, there will be a mock interviews. Okay, where you will understand what kind of interviews will happen. And of course, once you go for an interview and once you understand, so we will prepare for your interview. Of course, after that we can't help you. That is something you need to. Yeah, but till that, yes.
Sure. Sorry to interrupt. So I have one question. Like, see, now I am having an almost 8.5 years experience. How the career in future will be for 10 years of experience, guys, in RPA? Like, as of now, we are seeing like most of the job openings are related to 3 years and 4 years like that. So, is there any chance, like, what about the future for 10 years of experience, IT experience candidates with RPA?
Okay, so first of all, whatever you have a prior experience, that is get calculated first thing. Okay, now when you are actually 10 plus years of experience and any of the field, maybe the testing or any other, and you want to become RPA, either way, it's your choice whether you want to go with the RPA development. But there are roles, by the way: RPA developer, RPA tester, RPA BA, RPA manager, RPA lead, and all. So if you want to go RPA development, I don't think so there is a problem if you have a 10, because in my organization, one person who having the 12 plus years of experience, he is actually doing the development in RPA. Okay, so that experience, as I told, gets counted, but the main impact or the main thing is that how much you have experience in RPA, or how much you know about the RPA. Prior experience plus this gets count. 10 plus or maybe 12 plus, you have a choice whether you want to go only for development or B, or maybe the lead role. Okay, if I have a 14 plus years of experience in this any prior experience, and I want to become RPA developer, or I want to go with this RPA technology, so company will hire me as a RPA, maybe the RPA lead, or maybe the RPA manager who manages the RPA team. Why I need a RPA manager? Because manager should know what exactly is going on in the RPA, right?
Okay.
So the
Yeah,
role gets changed according to your experience.
Okay, understood. So coming to this one, if can I become a developer by completing this course?
Okay, good question again. So when you done this development, when you done this course, you will become a developer, provided that how much you are giving your presence, how much you are active in the course, how much you have done in this POC. None of the course in the world will give you this assurance saying, okay, once you're done without anything doing by yourself, you'll become something. So if you follow our instructions, if you've done the regular assignments, if you do explore yourself as well, apart from this, beyond this, no one will stop you. Okay, so something, let me clear on this. So once you've done this course, and now so if you are assuming, okay, I've done this course, now I will get a job. No, you need to be a prompt on that, whether you need whatever you have done, you have to implement, you have to apply that. Of course, we will show you the real cases, real project, we will develop that, we will provide you that, you will develop along with me. But at the end, what it matters, if I am giving my 100%, at the same time, if you are giving 100%, then there is a win. So I don't think there is a problem, but it totally depends on your hard work as well.
Okay, understood.
So let me add up one more thing if you have. I'm sorry, just give me 30 seconds. So if you are having a more than 7 or 8 years of experience, right, and if you want to switch to RPA, the recommended, either you should go as a BA or you should go as a solution as an architect, right? But you have to start from very basic, and basic is like start as a developer, gain a knowledge, and then switch into that. So this course is definitely will help you to start your career as a developer. do certification, because in my previous batches people have taken the workshop and they have done the certification. I'm not sure. Shiv will let us know how much certification costs for a Blue Prism or UiPath. I guess UiPath it is a free, and Blue Prism they charge something, right? Right, Shiv?
Yeah, yes, correct. But yeah, but as a part of this course, we do have a license for it.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, Nitesh, sorry to interrupt, but just to inform that UiPath has also started charging. 30th April is the last date for the free certification, but now they are charging. There are two certifications currently for UiPath, which they recently launched through Pearson. One is RPA Associate and another one is RPA Advanced Developer.
Yes, that's correct. That's now there is no free of cost certificate available for UiPath.
Yeah, right.
Even for Blue Prism, you don't have. That is the limit has been. I mean, so there was a timeline due date. It is now finished. So $150 is a. I think $200 is a charge for a certification.
Yeah, for one certification it is $150 and another one is $200.
Yeah. So we'll help you on that certification part.
So
I mean, help you in the sense for providing dumps and all.
Yeah. So I guess Shiv, now they have put the charge because the RPA market is going to boom. I mean, again, I'm not disclosing the name, but we have one town hall where they have declared that RPA is going to be a next market. So Shiv, how the RPA normal RPA developers and how RPA automation and like the first slide which I have shared, the first screenshot, RPA with cognitive and RPA with AI. So we are covering RPA cognitive AI plus chatbot, right? That is the most latest course of RPA, right?
Exactly. So when it comes for AI, so we are using the services like text to speech, speech to text, and all. This is a part of AI. Again, we are not having. So this AI is very vast. We are not covering all, but those are useful. Those are actually we use in day-to-day life or in our cognitive RPA we are using. Yes, RPA plus AI part plus cognitive and the chatbot.
Okay, okay. So Aditya, Manjari, Shiva, Neeraja, Pooja, Pramod, Ruhi, Sada, Sheila. Sheila has recently joined. Suprava, Unit, Vaibhav, Vikas. Any question, any doubt?
Yes, like I do have one question, Nitesh and Shiva. Like you told me that like there is an opportunity for RPA tester. So what all about this? Like what is the role of RPA tester in RPA?
Good question. So RPA tester, let me give in the one line. So as you do in the testing for your software, here you need to test your bot by providing just disturbing the bot by providing additional scenarios, happy path, non-happy path. In short, whatever is the development at the end, if testing is not done correctly or if testing is not there, then there would be a problem in the production. So same here. If I want to test it, the bot, how it works or what is the output and how, of course, I need to understand what is the bot, by the way, what is the, how it works in this RPA, how can I do the testing in RPA like this.
Okay, okay, Shiva, I got your point. But the thing is, like, after completing this course, how would I initiate my role to RPA tester by completing this? Like, are you going to provide some set of instruction for the RPA tester role also?
Okay,
Like
good point.
Yeah.
So first of all, here we are going to become RPA developer. When we say RPA developer means you will understand everything in detail related with the RPA tool and whatever the cognitive services which we are using. On top of that, if you know all these development things, then you can easily switch to any tool, any role in the sense tester, BA, manager, lead, or whatever. Okay, because you have a depth knowledge of the process or the tool by taking transition as a development. as a developer. So after the course done, or when we have the interest, whatever your interest, which role you want, then we will cascade to those kind of role. We'll provide you the detail. We'll provide you the detail means how it works. These are the things. These are the template. These are the you need to do. If you want to BA, if you want to become BA, then this is the process design document you need to create like this. So that will be done once you complete it. For now, we will keep in the mind that we are becoming a developer. Why? Because your mindset will become like this and you will learn more. If you are saying, okay, no, I want to become an RPA tester from now onwards, then there would be something, I don't want that. So once you've done this, then we'll decide, okay, you have interest in this testing, okay, these are the things which you need to do. Okay, you want to go into the BA, these are the things, like this, and you can easily do that. There is no other additional technology or there additional knowledge you require. This is all about this ORP only.
Question, like if there is something extra we have to do for that BA and tester profile, then I have to think on this. Okay.
Yeah. Think on this. You have to decide which role you want, and then accordingly we'll guide you, right?
Right.
As I told you, we are going for RP development.
All right, all right. So you will be providing assistance to like if after completing this course, I would decide to some different role. So you will be providing assistance according to that, right?
So right, that is a part of your resume building where you need to
Right.
decide that time.
Yes, yes. And my mock interviews and everything will be done according to that only.
Exactly.
All right.
Shiv, I have.
Yeah. Go ahead, please.
Yeah, sorry. Shiv, I have one question. What is the duration of this course, and on which tool will the training will provide by you?
I think Nitesh will, so course and everything is in the table of content which Nitesh has sent you. So we are providing on two tools, UiPath and Blue Prism.
Yeah, so let me share my screen. I guess you guys can see my screen.
Yes, Nitesh.
This is for a UiPath, right? And this is course content, right? And this is for a Blue Prism. So the course content I will share, people who are interested for the workshop. Shiv, you can cover how many hours for a Blue Prism and for UiPath. Before that, one more thing I just want to share with you guys. What we do different from other institution that you can see on my screen. There is a RPA jobs WhatsApp group which we have created, right? Here we share RPA related jobs. I mean, yes, like today I have shared 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 5 jobs related to RPA. Yesterday it was shared. So these people have done workshop with us, and you can see that on a regular basis we share RPA related jobs here, right? This is in a week I can say at least 15 jobs I share related with RPA. I'm not doing any false promise like no, we will give you the job, or there is a job assistant something. No, we will help you to share the jobs. It is your caliber how you are going to crack the interview. But yes, job details will be provided to you. That we up to that extent we can help. Apart from that, resume building, mock interview that we do, right? So Shiv, you were talking about the number of hours for UiPath and Blue Prism.
Hey, can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
Yeah. Okay, so the number of hours which we have given is 52 hours for this whole course, where it is distributed within this RPA tool. 32 hours is RPA tool, 8 hours is the cognitive, and then remaining is for chatbot. So how it is distributed? So if I calculate overall, yes, it's 52 hours plus 8 hours of POC, which you need to develop yourself. That 8 hours you have to give yourself, which contains 2 POC, proof of concept. where you need to build and send us back to for review. So total we can say it's 60 hours, where 50 hours would be the learning and practicality, and 52 hours would be the learning and practical, and remaining is for your 8 hours is for the POC.
Okay. Okay. So guys, I hope if you have any question, you can please ask. Vaibhav, Vikas, Unit, Suprabha, Sheila. Sheila, you have just joined. I know you have missed the demo, but if you have any related queries to RP, you can ask. Sabha, Ruhi, Riya, Pooja, Nirja, Pavan Kumar, Pavan Manjari, Atif,
And
Aditya.
yeah, I do have one quick question. Like, are you going to cover the courses separately, one for UiPath and one for Blue Prism, or like, what it is? Actually, I'm not getting that.
Sorry, come again.
Yeah, are you going to cover UiPath and Blue Prism both in this training, or what? Like, in this course?
We will do both tools, UiPath and Blue Prism individually.
All right. Individually, like two separate courses.
Yeah, two
So
separate
that
courses.
means we have to enroll separately for both the courses.
Okay. So one question arises here, like, what would be the better tool to go for RPA, Blue Prism or UiPath?
See, both the tools are leading in the market. If you have any one of the tool in your resume, that is fine. You can learn the other tool later on. So by seeing the situation in the market and the profile, Blue Prism and the UiPath, I would say it's a 50-50%. I mean, out of 10 organization is using 5 UI, maybe 4 UiPath, 4 Blue Prism, and then 2 are remaining the others. Question comes here, what is your ability? I mean, whether if you're really interested in the VB.NET basics too, and you have knowledge and everything, and you are okay with this one, then you can go with this UiPath. Where you will just need to have the basics of .NET, which we are going to learn, and understanding of all the basics. If you don't want that, and if you are not comfortable with this .NET basics, then you can go with the Blue Prism. I am not saying that Blue Prism, it does not require at all the basics, but yes, there is no functions where you don't need to be a .NET developer. Okay, so that is the biggest parameter where you can decide what you want, what is your capability as well, and the market situation.
Right. So Shiva, could you please briefly describe what all about Blue Prism? Like, if we are not going with the basics of .NET in something, then what it takes, like how it works, just a
So,
like brief.
Okay, Blue Prism is works like it's like a flow diagram which we create. Right now, I can't share the screen because I don't have the Blue Prism license right now. But yes, it is related with the flow only. So the basic difference within this between this Blue Prism and UiPath is, if you have seen the functions which I have shown on the UiPath is not available in Blue Prism. So what is available in the Blue Prism? Blue Prism, it's available. There are just activities you need to drag and drop. Apart from nothing else. Okay. So if you want to write a code, there is a separate thing in the Blue Prism, but yes, you don't need to use basics of .NET functions because Blue Prism has created their own functions. They have their own functions which you need to understand. That is a part of this course. So when you go for the Blue Prism training, you will understand everything about the Blue Prism.
All right.
What will be the schedule for the classes, Shiv? Are you
This
able
would
to
be
define that?
Yeah, this would be the over a weekend. Minimum 2 hours, maximum 3 hours in a day, in Saturday and Sunday. So total in weekend we will cover 5 to 6 hours.
Okay, so once we learn, say suppose one of us we opt for UiPath, and how relative it would be to pick up Blue Prism later, if required.
Yeah, so as I told you, so once you have one tool in your resume, or once you understand, so even you can learn the second tool by your own. You don't need to be a part of this course. Why I'm saying, because the concept is the same. Okay, this is applicable. This is same like coding. If you have the C++ basic, you can learn the other language easily. See, same here. You can learn any tool, and you will understand the other tool later on. So behind the scene, the terminology different. Other parts or the other basic dragging and dropping, understanding the flow and everything remains the same. And that is the reason when you become a RPA developer, we can't say this I'm a Blue Prism developer or I'm a UiPath developer. I will be RPA developer. So RPA developer means you will, if you have your UiPath on your resume, if company required, they will hire for Blue Prism as well. Or in your organization, if you are switch or if switch the account in the UiPath, later on you can switch in the Blue Prism. So concept basics are same, only terminology will get different, and the way of work.
So you mean if people can learn Blue Prism, they can learn UiPath and automation anywhere by themselves, right?
Of course, why not? Even you can learn multiple tools at a time. I have worked on 3 tools: Automation Anywhere, Blue Prism, and UiPath. Even as we got a projects in the Pega. Now we are working on the Pega. So if you are become RPA developer, that is my concern. That's my point here. When you become RPA developer, you can't fix one tool. I mean, of course, initially you have to start by using one tool, but at the end of the 2 or maybe down the line 3 years, you will expert in the UiPath. Plus, you have also worked. You might be work on the Blue Prism as well. So, having one tool is one part, first basic part. Multiple tools is the next secondary thing, I would say.
Okay, fantastic. So guys, anyone has any doubt again to ask any question? Aditya, Atif has recently joined. Manjari,
Video of this
Shiva
session
Pawan.
so that I
Sorry?
can I get the video of this session?
Yeah, I will share it. No worries. Okay,
Yeah.
let me come to the point, guys. We have kept this fees. The fees for this workshop is 22,000 rupees, because this is covering a complete package for RPA. That is, if you will go for RPA only, so they will ask 15,000 rupees. But here we are covering cognitive AI plus chatbot. So 22,000 rupees.
Nitish,
Yep.
sorry, Nitish, can I interrupt? If no questions, can I drop off? I have others. It's fine for all.
Yeah. If you can give 2 minutes, we are just wrapping up, or you can drop.
Okay, sure.
So guys,
Okay, no, fine.
yeah, thank you. So 22,000 rupees is a fees, but we are offering, since you guys are coming from Shri Ram's group, so we are offering instant discount, that is a 5,000 rupees in case if you are registering today. And again, a referral is a 2,000 rupees. I mean, if you are referring someone, right? So for example, let's suppose there is a person A, he is registering today, so 5,000 rupees will be given discount to him. And if he is referring to B, additional A will be given more 2,000 rupees discount, right? So additionally, this whole course will be somewhere around 15,000 rupees for him. Plus also, if he is doing a payment in one go, right? So 1,000 rupees additional discount will be given, right? One time payment, 1K additional discount, right? So overall, this course will be 14,000 rupees if anyone joins. Plus, we will share the 1-year license for a Blue Prism. UiPath we don't have, because UiPath is not free. Blue Prism is also not free, definitely, but we will do 1 year license free for you for Blue Prism. And this is the workshop fees which we have discussed, right? Anyone has any doubt, any question to ask? Aditya, Atif, Manjari, Shiva, Nirja, Pooja, Pramod, Riya, Ruhi, Sheila,
No,
Prabha, Vaibhav,
no.
Vikas.
Just I have to look for. Uh, I have to look for like whether to go for Blue Prism or UiPath for now.
Okay, okay. So I guess
Yeah.
Shiv has resolved the query, right? You should which tool you should go for? I mean, UiPath or Blue Prism. Both
Right.
are good, right? But it depends on your choice where you want to go, right? You can, and again, I am just challenging. You can compare our course with anyone, right? And this is the lowest fees which we have kept. If anyone has any more detail required, they can ping us individual about the course content and other details, right? So thank you so much, guys, for joining this wonderful session, and have a great day. Take care. Bye bye.
What is the duration?
Sorry,
What is the duration of the course?
duration Shiv has said, I guess, right? Shiv, are you there? I guess he has left.
Okay.
It is on.
52 hours. I
52
guess.
plus 8 hours. So 52 is the course of time.
Right, right.
Okay.
Right, and also in the meantime you guys can go on Google and check about a Refer Me group. People who have done the workshop from Refer Me group, you will find more than 245 plus professionals have given their feedback, so you can go and check about what kind of RP. I don't know, I need to find out.
Nitish,
Yeah,
sorry to interrupt you, Vaibhav this side. Nitish, I just want to ask that in this course includes both the tool UiPath and
no,
Blue
no,
Prism, or
it is individual, I have told you.
okay, okay.
Yeah. Okay, so thank you so much, guys. Thanks a lot for joining this wonderful session. And stay home, stay safe, stay healthy, and enjoy with your family. And additionally, if anyone is registering today, like I have told you, it is a 5,000 rupees discount. After today, I mean, if you are registering tomorrow, this discount will not be given. That is a for sure, right? So if anyone has any thought to join, you can contact me individual. I will share other these course of content, and we can discuss further how this is going to proceed, right? So thank you so much, Arif. Thank you, Manjari. Thank you, Shiva Pavan. Thank you, Nirja. Thank you, Pooja. Thank you, Pramod. Thank you, Riya. Thank you, Ruhi. Thank you, Sabha. Thank you, Sheila. Thank you, Suprava. Thank you, Anit. Thank you, Vaibhav. Thank you, Vikas. Have a great day. Take care. Enjoy.
Thank you.
Thank you,
Thank you
Nitish.
so
Thank you.
much.
Thank you,
Thanks a
everyone.
lot. Bye bye.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Thank
Thank you,
you.
everyone.